Okay, everybody ready? One of government's duties, in fact, one of its moral obligations, is to protect vulnerable citizens. I'm talking about children, the sick, those with handicaps, and those who are discriminated against, and yes, our seniors. Over the past few years, we have implemented a number of programs and have signed into law an array of bills to help our elderly population, including protecting them from those who would abuse or exploit them. To date, however, one thing we've yet to accomplish is the creation of what's called an adult abuse registry. This is a list of people who are believed to have abused, neglected, or exploited someone who is elderly or has a disability. The purpose of the list is to guide the hiring of adult service providers. Today, I'm joined by Senate President Robert Stivers, House Speaker Greg Stumbo, and other legislators to show our unified, bipartisan support for this issue in this session of the General Assembly. Joining us are Senator Sarah Beth Gregory and Representative Ruth Ann Palumbo, the sponsors of legislation creating a registry. Senate Bill 98 and House Bill 256 would enhance current background check procedures by mandating that certain care providers go through the State Cabinet for Health and Family Services to determine if a prospective employee or volunteer is on the list. Now, let me note that I proposed and the legislature appropriated in the 2012-2014 biennial budget $2.2 million in funding to support the creation of a registry, but enabling legislation was not enacted during that session. This funding was included in the budget of the CHFS Department for Community-Based Services, which is the agency that oversees adult protective services. If legislation is enacted this year, and it needs to be, funds are already there to support this registry. Folks, our senior citizens and their families are counting on us to create this added protection. And with this sign of support today, I'm confident that we won't let them down. Now let me call upon President Robert Stivers. Mr. President.
Thank you, Governor, and my colleagues who are here with me. Much to the chagrin of some of the media, we have come together again in a bipartisan way. This is not about Republicans or Democrats, the Speaker or myself or the Governor. This is about taking care of our seniors. And what has occurred here today is two women, one House member, one Senate member, bringing legislation forth that we think will get bipartisan support in the chambers. So I want to compliment Representative Ruth Ann Palumbo and Senator Sarah Beth Gregory for leading the charge in this session on protecting our seniors and showing that we can come with an issue like this for adult protections in a way that the people of Kentucky will say that, you know, we are dealing with policy in Frankfort and not politics. So I appreciate the Governor's support and my colleagues in the House and the colleagues in the Senate for making this day possible.
Thanks, Mr. President. Next, let me call upon Speaker Greg Stumbo. Greg.
Thank you, Governor, and Mr. President, and distinguished colleagues. I want to commend Representative Palumbo and Senator Sarah Beth Gregory for stepping forward on this issue. As Kentucky's Attorney General for 4 years, we had a very strict zero-tolerance policy when it came to elder abuse. We actually put a worker in jail for a slap in a nursing home in Louisville, and it wasn't that egregious of a slap. It wasn't the fact that the slap didn't really hurt anybody. It's the fact that the slap occurred to someone who was in the care and control of that person. So I think it's obvious today that there's bipartisan support on the issue of protecting those who can't help themselves, who are in the care of these folks. And I commend the Governor for stepping forward on this issue and look forward to its passage. Thank you.
Thanks, Speaker. Now let's call upon the folks that are actually in the trenches doing the hard work. Senator Sarah Beth Gregory.
Well, I am very appreciative of the strong showing of bipartisan support that we see here today on this issue. I want to commend all of those who have been working on this issue much longer than I have. There are people who have been fighting for this type of protection since before I was even in the legislature, and it's an issue that I feel very strongly about. An adult abuse registry, or as we've called it this session, an adult protection registry, is a very needed and important step to put a system into place that will ensure that seniors and disabled individuals who aren't able to protect themselves can hire caregivers, and that employers can hire caregivers who don't have any history of abuse or neglect. This is absolutely something that we need, and a huge improvement to our system. I'm very grateful for Representative Palumbo's work on the issue and the Cabinet's help and the administration's, and deeply appreciative of all who have taken an active role in developing the legislation this session, and look forward to hopefully seeing it move to implementation, because the sooner we get this in place, the sooner we'll be able to protect the individuals who need our help the most.
Thank you, Senator. And now, one of those people that the Senator referred to that has been working on this issue a long, long time, and that's Representative Ruth Ann Palumbo.
Well, we have been working on this for a long time, and there have been issues that have come up from caregivers, from the loved ones of patients, and I thank the Cabinet and all of those who have been so very patient working with us. This is maybe the 4th year now that we've been doing this. My mother needed caregivers for the last year of her life. I was very pleased as a loved one to know that she was having the best care that that we could possibly give her, and that when we family were not there, we felt secure in that we had good, reputable caregivers. But today there is no registry. If I had not had the information and done a lot of checking, if I had not been familiar with caregivers, I would have had no place to go to find out if I could find the best people to take care of my mother. So this adult abuse registry will be available for all of us to check. It will be available electronically. There will be no one on that list who has not had a substantiated claim of abuse and neglect. No unsubstantiated, no one who can call in and say, this person has been bad to my mother, to my father. Everything has to go through a judicial process and be firmly substantiated. So I feel very comfortable with that. And again, thank you, Senator Sivers, Representative Stumbo, for helping us with this and realizing that our most vulnerable population are the ones that we need to protect. And Governor Beshear, thank you for your lead.
Thank you. Got it. Anybody have any questions?
I want to be sure the registry, it includes the names of good caregivers. Too simple to put, or, and who maintains it, and is it all public record?
It will only be substantiated. So if somebody's name is on there, you would not want to hire them.
Oh, okay, it's the bad,
Is it?
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
okay. And then the cabinet maintains this,
Correct.
Yes.
and it's public record.
Electronically, I can't look at it if I'm not legitimately trying to hire someone.
And say there's a bad one on the list, can that person ever get off the list, or?
Well, would you ever want to hire them for your loved one?
But if they think it was a mistake or something?
There won't be mistakes on there. It'll be completely substantiated before a name goes on there, because this would affect someone's ability to be employed.
One of the things that we've made sure to do in the bill is to address the due process concerns that people have for those who are accused of having committed abuse or neglect or exploitation. They will have a full administrative hearing process and the opportunity to have an appeal of a substantiation in circuit court back in the home area where the allegations took place. So we feel confident that those are adequate protections, that they meet constitutional due process requirements, and that they will ensure that only people who need to be on this registry end up with their names on that list.
So what's meant by substantiated finding? I mean, is it a conviction or what is that?
It is not. It's an administrative determination that is made by the cabinet after all of these due process steps have been completed.
there already a list of people that would end up on this list after the passage, or is this going forward?
This would be going forward because those due process protections that are necessary have not been in place previously. So this will only be going forward.
I'm a bit confused by something that said, can only licensed providers access the list, or can the public access the list?
The two bills, I think, are a little bit different on this point. In Senate Bill 98, licensed providers will be required to check the registry for prospective employees and can also check for their current employees. And it provides a mechanism that allows an individual to check the registry to access it for their own information and have that referred to a prospective employer. So it will make that information available to private caregivers as well through the person who is applying for the job to have it referred by the cabinet to that prospective employer.
But you can only handle like Kentucky caregivers, somebody living on the border, and
Only
caregiver from Ohio.
Only Kentucky.
Anybody else?
Just to be clear, these are people who have had substantiated cases of abuse, correct?
Yes.
Correct. Abuse, neglect, or exploitation.
Okay, and who maintains this and how is it maintained?
The Cabinet for Health and Family Services will be maintaining the registry, and it will be largely to their discretion through administrative regulation processes and their internal workings to set up the details of how the system will operate. But we anticipate a web-based system, as Representative Palumbo said.
One of these coming up in committee soon?
The House Bill 256 will be next Thursday.
Senate Bill 98 unanimously passed the Senate Judiciary Committee and is posted in the orders for today, I believe.
Anybody else? Thank you all.
Thank you for your interest.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I wanted to jump in on the process.